left. Me and the Venice. Uh-oh. I think I can guess what's coming. Peace. That's what's coming. They took nothing from me. Trade League had disbanded. No eligible leader after Venice. Venice will cede Istria, Dalmatia, Hum, Bosnia, and Donaj Kraj to Hungary. Well, at least it's Hungary getting this and not the Ottomans. And we are once again at peace. And thankfully we are in the Venetian Trade League, which still has some members, unlike the Venetian one. We're in the... yeah, did I say Genoan? I think I said Genoan. Oh, we are so far behind in Diplo. Mamlukian conquest of Crete against the Mamluks. This is a defensive war. We need to help our ally. Unfortunately, here I am the closest. Mamluks only actually have 5 galleys. I mean, if they merge all of their fleets together, yes, that will cause a problem. But if they don't... They stopped the attack, eh? Don't understand why I can't always see that, considering it's adjacent to my ally. I mean, 10 versus 11, we would win that. But where's the rest of the Mamluk fleet? Are they in the Red Sea? Might well be. Gotcha. And Venice came as well. They have no galleys. We have an admiral, they don't. It's going to be a slaughter. Squish! Didn't capture any of their ships, though. I mean, if we can keep destroying them at sea, then 1, it's going to give me more naval tradition, which I really need. And 2, they won't be able to invade Venice. Honestly, I tend to forget policies are even thing, that, and also forget to issue embargoes. Speaking of embargoes... Hey, Ottomans! Oh wait, I don't rival you. Do I care? I don't really care. We have a truce though, so I probably can't. We have a truce. Never mind! Right, what I'm going to do is call up my build ship dialogue. We're going to cancel those 2. We're going to build 4 galleys. Not galleys, damn it. I meant transports. Cogs. And we will think quite seriously about invading Cyprus. No, we'll repair up. Need to be until the end of the month. Ka-chink. Alright, now I have vision over the entire part of this part of the Mediterranean. Well, apparently the Ottomans gave the Mamluks access. I am not a strait anymore. I believe they changed that at some point. I am an actual island. So they can't get to me. And thank you, war taxes. Might as well, seeing as it's free. So I need to be able to beat 4,000 men. So I might actually need to raise like 6,000. Let's get 4 longbows and 2 knights. This is definitely going to put a strain on my treasury. Plus, we could be raiding their coast. And we can literally raid their coast. It's not quite what I meant. I meant just blockading. Although we need a lot more ships to do this, probably. We're blockading some. Yeah, we are earning money from it. We are currently getting spoils of war 0.33 a month from just doing this. And we're also causing all of these provinces devastation. So you can really reduce the economic strength of your enemies by blockading them. Plus it drives up war exhaustion. We can tech up in Diplo. We totally should. I can also get another naval idea. Naval leader fire, morale hit when losing a ship. That morale hit is a huge change. I am sorely tempted to go slightly behind the times in military just to get that. I think I will. Plus it gets us the first of our ideas, which is fort defense. Meanwhile, Mamluks have access to Corfu, but I doubt that they have access through Hungary. The Mad Seer gain clergy loyalty or lose devotion and loyalty. Fine. Mamlukian Golden Era, because of course it is. At least it's not a Cypriot Golden Era. That would be bad for us. 2 wars? No, that's just 1 war. Okay. Against Milan, Savoy and Lucca. Whom have a small fleet. Let's go and squish them. What are you? You're a cog. Okay, cool. Oh. Yes, gotcha. You ran away though, you wimp. Let's do this and then this and see if we can provoke him to come out. No. Alright, let's go and kill the Lucan navy. I need to keep an eye on this just to see if they start to try and do a naval invasion of me. Unlikely, but it's possible. Meanwhile, where's the Lucan navy gone? Oi! And the Mamluks got access through Hungary. Damn it. And they're just going to chill over there. Okay. Ah, crap, you land in 3 days. Oh, no, they gave up. You're welcome, Venice. The one place that they're trying to take and what's going to give us war score is Crete. Because their CB was for Crete and they're not going to do it, which means we're going to get ticking war score. Are the Byzantines still going at the start of EU4? Just. Like, the reason they start in 1444 in EU4 is because that's the year that historically Byzantium fell. So yes, at the very start of the game, Byzantium is still there. It does not tend to last long. It's like one of the most famous challenges that EU4 has is to survive as the Byzantines. It's possible. They've done DLC about it, so there's loads of flavour, events and stuff about Byzantium. Okay, so we can go up in admin. And we probably ought to. Although the production efficiency I don't care about and the yearly corruption I don't care about, I'd actually almost prefer to grab economic. I mean, the other one that we could do is defensive, just so we can get that extra morale. And also for the attrition for enemies if they do manage to land. Like, Rhodes is going to be hard to take. I mean to make sure that that fort is fully upgraded. Have I ever tried doing that? No, I haven't actually. I prefer the stuff around the Knights. It'll be a very similar game to the Knights. Except for the fact that you start with 3 provinces, I think, rather than just 1. And you are not protected by being on an island. Another challenge is playing as Theodoro, these guys, which are the last legitimate emperor. They're still Komnenos. And I think they are the only Goths left. Oh no, sorry, that's it. No. The Byzantines are the legit Byzantines. Theodoro is famous because it was a Byzantine province, but is the only one that is culturally Gothic. Trying to see if there's a way of actually seeing that here. Yeah, culture, Byzantine, Gothic. Byzantine, Pontic. Pontic. Interesting. And then these are all Byzantine Greek. So there are a whole host of little challenges around the Mediterranean that you can do. What was I thinking? Oh yeah, add idea. So this definitely should be an admin idea. I don't see any point in humanism. Don't see any point really in admin. No, we're not using mercenaries. Expansion, we wouldn't be able to reach anything. Religious, at one point I was thinking about, but I don't think anymore. Innovative, possibly, but it's not generally a good early one, so yeah, we're going to take economic. Actually, I should have done the spare no expenses there. Never mind. We actually kind of want to rush through as many of these national ideas as possible. Like, one really nice thing about the Knights is their national ideas are actually really good. Mamluks are dying again. Not much I can or want to do about that. Let's see if I can duck away and see if I can provoke them into coming in again. Yes, yes I can. Nuts. Need to keep an eye on this. But also I need to get them while they're trapped. I'm sinking the Mamluk fleet again. They're being sent home. We also run home. Pierre d'Ambusson, the Grand Master Hospitaller d'Ambusson, who is so successfully had defended Rhodes against the previous Sultan Mehmet II, imprisoned the brother of the Turkish Sultan Bayezid II, despite a promise of safe conduct in 1483. Such a prestigious captive was obviously seen as a strong negotiation asset for many of the enemies of the Ottoman Empire, and several countries were prepared to pay large sums for him. So the papacy would give me devotion and papal influence, but half as much cash. Hungary would give me 90 ducats, and Venice would give me 90 ducats. I'm actually kind of tempted to give him to Hungary. Because Venice, our relations are already high, plus Venice is kind of dying. We could sell it to the papacy, though I would kind of like the cash, but then again, getting the extra papal influence is not something to sniff at, nor is the devotion. What made me want to play as the Knights? They're just interesting. They're in a really interesting position. Because you can survive against the big boys because you are a tiny island, and islands are hard to conquer, especially if you do the naval game well. And I enjoy the naval game of this game. Like, this is one of the few games where navies actually sodding matter. And you can really wage economic warfare, which just amuses me. I think we're going to sell him to Hungary. Because Hungary might well be prepared to pay us money. Ah, we captured a ship. We have our first light ship. Awesome. We also lost our military advisor. That would explain why I'm suddenly making money. I'm going to go with the fort defense. Because we still have cash. It's not a problem. So the Cypriots are building up a fleet, albeit not a very big one. Thought they might try and escape, but they didn't. No, I think they're getting wise to my little tactics. What I can do is split you out and have you rush ahead. Although if that's all you're doing, then I can just go and beat you myself. Still not capturing those galleys. That's what I'm really after. Just get some free ships. Lucan's fleet is not leaving. Like, we're obviously making a name for ourselves. Because people don't want to tackle our navy. Their general is terrible. We are still building one more cog. I think we're going to need another. So we're going to outnumber you 5 to 4. We will have a reduction now. We've got to do this with 6. Otherwise it just won't work. How am I on medium? I'm not medium. I can go for quite a while. Oh, especially as I can raid coasts again. Let's go around and do our 5-yearly protection racket. Make sure people are paying us what they owe us. Also, I can go ahead and fabricate more claims. Got that. I was going to go for Nazca. And whatever that province is called. Cyprus. Okay. Gotcha. All I wanted to do was tie them down until the big ships could arrive and do the actual damage, which they did. Unfortunately, they did not stick around. Triumph of the clergy. While none would openly defy the clergy, there are a few states where they are as influential as in the Knights. There isn't a single institution here in our country that isn't entirely under the influence of the clergy, and the power of our Grand Master depends on them now more than ever. It is perhaps only natural that the clergy, who now also wish to take a more active role in the practical ruling of our country. Lately, a number of suggestions have been made by the representatives to further harmonise our laws and traditions with those of Speltra realm. The ambition is to cleanse our court culture from any unorthodoxy and to ensure that the country is governed according to religiously sound rules and ideals. And that was the Ottoman truce ending. So if we followed their recommendations, clergy gains the extra influence, which will actually tip us over the edge. If you go over 80%, then bad things start to happen. But we can reject them, which costs us stability. Alright, how long do these last? One ends in 5 years. That's the closest. Hey, go on. Losing the stability is annoying. Although I can pay it up pretty easily again, but I really don't want to pay monarch points because we're short on those as it is. Especially admin. Yeah, I was a little bit too gung-ho in building up the influence previously with all the modifiers. Because I was trying to keep these high. I'm going to have to reject your authoritar. That's very annoying. Thankfully stability is pretty cheap. In fact, you know what? I'm going to boost it one more time. Because then when we pay the Pope for the boost at 200, we get the more expensive version. Did Venice go bankrupt? Is that what's going on here? Aha, caught ya. Oh, I got a transport. Awesome. That's going to mean that I need to build one less. That was actually really good. Need to go and clear the seas for the Ottomans. Not for the Ottomans, for the Venetians again. Otherwise Venice will keep on getting attacked. Nicholas has died tragically. Let's hope for a new heir. Give me the event then, thank you. Talented theologian, local preacher, his devotion and prestige down. I'm happy to do that. The 442. Acceptable. I can invest in a new naval idea. This is putting me further and further behind militarily. You are Tech 8. I'm still Tech 7. This does give infantry fire more and cavalry more. Yeah, I'm gonna have to tech up before I do this naval invasion of Cyprus. Because if I can take Cyprus now, that would be a really strong move for me. Gotcha. Should probably send my ships off to repair, just to be sure. Sometimes I'm happy to not buy the DLC. It seems even more difficult with than without, even if the colonies and wars are awful without DLC. Any mods in the game? No. I'm not sure that it would really be more difficult. I mean, this is a very, very bad example to be using for difficulty. I'm playing as one of the hardest nations in the game right now, so do not take this as kind of rote for how this game works. If you want a more... a better overview of this, I really ought to do a game as like one of the big nations and just taking it slowly to kind of explain what's going on and how I'm doing everything. Because I haven't really done a game like that. Except for the custom nations, and they don't really count. Because things in those don't happen as you would expect. I mean, really, the one where I'm taking it slowest was... Oh, what did I call that series? Right, I'm going to have to look it up, because this has bugged me for a while. This should be on my channel. Playlists. It's like one of the very first playlists. Custom casters, that was it. EU4 24 custom casters. That's where I kind of take things slower and take time to explain what I'm doing and why. It's not completely true to life because custom nations all around. But I do at least talk there about what I'm doing and why and that type of thing. What's the icon right of the flame? Is it new? This, yeah, okay, so these are innovativeness. This is a new mechanic that was introduced with Rule Britannia. It's this icon here in the tech tab. And basically, the more innovativeness you get, the more all power costs are reduced. So you gain innovative by having ideas that nobody else has. So being naval ideas is usually a pretty good one for early innovativeness. You get +1 for every idea that you get that nobody else in the game has got yet. You also gain it for being the first to tech up into a new technology. I think, do you get it over time? Yeah, and you get it just generically for being ahead of time, though the increase there you can see is plus 0.005 per month, so it's very, 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 very slow to increase indeed. And as your innovativeness goes high enough, you get all power cost reduction, yearly army decay, tradition decay, and a yearly navy tradition decay. So it's a nice thing to have, but it's difficult to raise. It's kind of a long-term investment. But that was introduced with Royal Britannia. Is this game worth getting if you like Crusader Kings 2? Yes, yes, a million times yes. I personally rate this game as the best one that Paradox has done. If you like Crusader Kings, you will almost certainly like this. There's a lot less role-playing for the dynasties and the characters, but if you like the geopolitics, the alliances, the wars, the manipulation of different strategic stuff, then yeah, you will be loving this game. It might seem kind of overwhelming at first, but believe me, it is so worth learning. It was a common defence against annexation and usurpation to forge documents, have them counterfeited or backdated to corroborate one's arguments during times of struggles for expansion of land or privileges. Even now, those questionable methods are being used, and we even ponder if this practice should benefit us. Hopefully no one will detect the discrepancies. So we gain a bit of corruption, but also admin power. Or we gain some devotion. I'm going to take the devotion because I want that high. So devotion, because I'm a theocracy, is like my special power. I can build up devotion, which increases my relations with the Pope. It increases my prestige, and also it's a massive national tax modifier. So you kind of want to keep that high. Ooh, positive stability is a plus 0.5. I did not realise that. I would have kept a positive stability for much longer had I realised that. Okay, good to know. The Ottomans have started to influence Gazimuk. Well, that's good for Gazimuk. Where's the Mamluk fleet? I don't know. And we're starting to build our army at last. So the invasion of Cyprus will begin shortly. That's 2. In the meantime, I can just go ahead and start raiding all the things. Because I like money, and this is free money. This is also the special thing that the Knights can do. They are the only Christian country in the game who can do this. You can basically go around raiding coasts near your bases for free cash and sailors. And it can really keep you funded. Like the Knights, before they brought in the raid mechanic for the Knights, they were extremely hard to keep economically balanced. Now they are not. And doing this causes massive amounts of devastation for everyone you are raiding. So it really highlights how historically the Knights were just a humongous thorn in the Ottoman side. And why the Ottomans spent so much effort to just try and conquer the tiny island of Rhodes. And believe me, they tried numerous times to take it, and the Knights... Like, one of the most one-sided sieges in history was when, I think it was something like 10,000 Ottomans attacked Rhodes, and the Knights had something like 130 defenders, and the Knights won. It's one of the most one-sided sieges in history, where the defenders won.